Yo, what's good? Back in black with another Enlisted video. These guys are pumping out updates faster than Mortarmen are spamming the objective with shells, and I suppose it was only inevitable that we were going to end up with a content drop for the Normandy campaign since we already got one for Moscow. I'm gonna get right into the news really quick, but I want to ask you guys, if you guys are new, consider dropping a like and consider subscribing. If you love shooting games, that is. This really helps me out as a small YouTuber, and your support will make sure you actually get teammates that, PTFO, because we all, like I said, we all know how rare that is. Moving right into level 27, for the Allies or for the American pilots, they will be receiving the P47 Thunderbolt, one of the cooler names besides the P51. This is a fighter plane that is described as having high speed and a rugged design, which leads me to believe that it will be able to sustain high damage. As far as the loadout goes, it is equipped with eight I should say, M2 Browning machine guns, which they say is great because you will be able to keep supporting your infantry even after you drop your bombs and shoot your rockets, which I guess that also means that it will come with all three, which is good. I'm guessing that they're designing the machine guns for this plane to actually be more effective at, strafing runs, because anytime a pilot does a strafing run, I only ever see them rely on like bombs and rockets. So I'm actually kind of glad they're changing up the philosophy as far as like the design on the planes go. The Germans shall receive the FW-190 fighter plane, which is described as an aerial interceptor that is also capable of ground support. This plane is sporting two 20mm cannons and two 13mm machine guns. And yeah, that makes it sound like a worthy competitor to the Thunderbolt, so we'll see how that goes. Once you hit level 28 for the Allies, you will be receiving the very cool, or I guess the very hot M2 Flamethrower. The difference between this and the M1 is that the upgraded version will have more range and higher damage output. So I guess that this is the response to my video where I was talking about whether flamethrowers needed a buff or not. Of course, there's always going to be a downside to the M2, which every new gun should have a downside because it shouldn't just be a pure upgrade every time. The only con is that it uses up fuel faster, which means you will have to be more sparing with your streams of fire. The Germans, on the other hand, will see their M2 and upgrade to the Flamethrower for 41. This improves upon the 35 by having higher gas pressure, which increases the range from 20 meters to 30 meters. That's a really big upgrade, actually. Unfortunately, this will also reduce the time it takes for the flame to actually leave the barrel, so be wary of that difference. I'm not sure if the time to fire, the fire, pun intended, applies to the M2 as well, but like the M2, this one will also have a higher damage output, so yeah, worth a shot, right? Alright, so this is where we get to the good stuff. Moving on, at level 29, we are finally getting our hands on the M1A1 Thompson. This was actually like in the practice field for a long time, but yeah, now we're going to actually get to use it in game once we get to level 29. Like the description says, this is a submachine gun of legendary status. It's actually my favorite gun, like just generally speaking. Like if I could buy a gun in real life, I would probably buy a Thompson submachine gun. It just looks that cool. It's very iconic indeed. Like I said, it is favored because it has high accuracy and a high rate of fire. Of course, like any other submachine gun, you want to use this in like room clearing situations and close quarter city fighting, or even in a trench. The Germans are getting supplied with the Beretta M38 submachine gun, which looks to match the Thompson with high accuracy, a high fire rate, and also sporting low recoil. They didn't really have too much to say about it. It is an Italian submachine gun, and they basically just took it and adopted it into their armed forces and upgraded it to improve upon the MP34. If you guys know about that submachine gun. Moving on into the paid part of the content drop, the Allies will be getting the M1941 Johnson rifle. This was a gun that went head to head with the M1 Garand as far as becoming the main battle rifle of the army during World War II, and yeah, it lost. But that does not necessarily mean that it did not see any action during World War II. Mostly used by paratroopers apparently. This gun features low recoil, high accuracy, and a 10-round magazine with a very high fire rate. So if you guys want to pay for it, I'm sure you guys will be able to make very good use of that gun. The Germans, on the other hand, will be using their enlisted gold to purchase the Führer 41. I already used this gun in the Battle of Berlin campaign, and I can attest to this gun being very excellent as far as like the handling goes. This is a weapon that features very high damage at close range, and the iron sights are very easy to use with very low recoil that lets you maintain that accuracy over a very long distance. So speaking from personal experience, I would highly recommend that gun if you guys want to pay for it. If you guys can don't want to pay for it, you can also use it in the Berlin campaign, but you guys got to pay for that also for the time being. If you guys want a new tank to use, the Americans will be getting the M24 Chaffee or Chaffee. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, which is described as being a very fast and powerful tank used for flanking maneuvers. This tank actually features a 75mm gun, which is obviously going to be very good at, you know, taking on those heavily armored German tanks. This time around, the Germans are getting a modified Panzer III, one of the final modified versions made apparently in the war. They say this tank was one of the most protected and versatile, and it sports a 50mm gun with very high accuracy over range and a very quick reload, which the other Panzer III that I currently am using in the American campaign also has a really good reload, so it's either going to be the same or faster. I'm looking forward to it either way. Well, not that I'm going to buy it, but if I were to use one, I would be looking forward to it. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the new weapons and vehicles coming to the Normandy campaign go. And like I said, they will be coming very soon. Otherwise, I don't see why they would be dropping these articles. But what do you guys think about the content drop for this? Do you like this better, or do you like the Moscow drop better? Let me know down in the comments below. And other than that, you know, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, I would appreciate you leaving that like. And don't forget to consider subscribing to my channel. And yeah, you know, other than that, thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Black Guy out.
They got such good.
Okay. You gotta make all of it, or you gonna make some? I want the chicken too.
No, you don't.
I bet you make the thing everybody sucks. They tell everybody gets good. I don't think I want to be there for that.
No,
It's like,
I think
things
I
are
think
all
the
over
game
again.
you already have done. Like,
Where?
but it's okay.
Something they can get shot. I'm scared.
Yeah.
We just killed like 90 of them.